Good morning, student, and welcome to session 9, Recounting an Experience. In this session, we are going to learn about the recounting. Recounting means uh, it is the list of past events that describe in the sequence manner. So let us start our recounting an experience session. The purpose of recount is to list and describe past events by retelling the events in the sequence in which they occurred. Means we just describe our past event in the sequence manner. That is called recounting. A recount tells about something that happened in the past. Hence it is written in the past tense, just like for example, I run is to I ran, I go is to I went. The details in recount can include which details we can include in the recount. See what happened, who was involved, where it took place, when it happened, and why it occurred. In this way, we can include these details to describing an events. If a writer or a speaker uses a recount to tell us about a story or an event, recounts are usually given in the order that the event occurred. See what it can be included. Factual, such as a news story. Procedural, such as telling someone how you build or making something. Personal, such as family holiday or your opinion or subject. So this includes the subject. Now what is the examples of recount include? Biographies and autobiographies, that all are about the past events that was happen. So again, newspaper or the television news. The next one is letters and postcard, textbooks. All these are the past tense or past events that are described. So now the next one is conversation with friends. So these are the events or describing things. Now what is past continuous tense? See, the past continuous tense describes an action that was happening at a time in the past. That was happening at a time. Happening at a time in the past means that thing is going on in the past. That is called past continuous tense. A verb in this tense will always take the form was plus verb plus ing, where plus verb plus ing. So how we can write? See, I was walking, she was walking, he was walking, it was walking, Ranjan was walking. In this way we can write. Means this is the examples of past continuous tense. If the plural, plural subject, see, they were walking, we were walking, the people were walking. So these are the examples. She was working on her painting, he was rehearsing for his performance. So these are the examples. Some examples of past continuous tense are given below also. I am walking, present continuous tense, and I was walking, that is the past continuous tense. So this is the difference. Again, she is walking, present continuous tense, and she was walking, this is the past continuous tense. So these are, we can differentiate between the past continuous tense and past present continuous tense and past continuous tense. So what is that difference? The present continuous tense describes an action that is happening presently, while the past continuous tense describes an action that was happening at a time in the past. At a time in the past means that action was happened in the past. This is the difference between the past, present and past. Now see the sentences here. Past continuous tense. I was going to tell you a story. They told me they're playing a game. She is making a breakfast. It is the present continuous. We were planning to visit. It is past continuous. So in this way we can differentiate these examples. See, this is the exercise. How we can solve. See, read the points given below very carefully. Now construct them into a paragraph. Huh? So these are the some sentences that we have to construct in a paragraph. Talking a walk in the park, taking a walk in the park, huh? Saw some people playing badminton. Huh? So these are the some topics that help us to construct some one paragraph to us. See, means we just try to construct these sentences to build a paragraph. Hmm. Next one is, see, read the phrases. Read the phrases in trip to a mall. Fill in the blanks with appropriate phrase. Huh? Dash dash we decided to go. Huh? Huh? I told him. So these are some phrases we can use to build the paragraph also. We decided to go. Use this phrase um, just like we decided to go to see a movie. I told him to play outside. In this way, we can use all these phrases to construct the sentences. The next one is, so these are the all phrases we can use to fill in the blanks. Here, downside all these are the fill in the blanks, and the upside there are the phrases. That phrases we can use in the fill in the blanks to construct the whole paragraph. Just like my friend called me up. My friend called me up and asked me if I had any plans this Saturday. I told him I was free. So we decided to go to the new mall. There were many good stores in the mall. So in this way we can use the upside phrases in this given below fill in the blanks. Now next one is assessment. This assessment we have to solve. See, fill in the blanks with the past continuous form of the verbs given in bracket. The first two have been done for you. See, I was visiting my childhood friend Venkat yesterday. Second, we were going to watch the movie Dawn on DVD. So in this way we can use the past continuous forms of the verb that given in the brackets, and to complete this fill in the blanks. We were seeing the movie for the second time. We were enjoying the popcorns more than the movie. So in this way we can solve this assessment. Now the next point is finding a place to stay. This is the session 10. Finding a place to stay. Now the next session is 10, finding a place to stay. Imagine that you have just moved into a new city and are looking for a place to stay. You are going in a new city and you look for the your to stay. So how they would go about doing it? You can use the following pointers. See what points we can use. What kind of place do you want? Would you required in a room? What would you require in a room? Would you take the help of a broker? Would you negotiate the rent? So these things we can find out. These things we came in our mind. So for making an appropriate sentence, we using these things, just like given below is a list of terms you will encounter when you want to rent a residence. Read aloud the renting terms, understand its meaning and usage. Huh? For renting purpose, which terms we can get? See, which are the terms? Broker. Broker means what? A broker means a person that acts as an agent for others in negotiation or bargaining purpose. Means it is the middle person who is bargaining to the rent owner and the place owner. So he is the broker. For example, the broker helped me find a room at a reasonable price. Means it has the duty to finding a reasonable room to the renter or the placeholder. Now the next point is rent. What is mean by rent? Rent means payment made by a person for staying in a place owned by others. Rent means a payment. Rent means it is a payment made by a person for staying in a place owned by others. Huh? So that is called rent. For example, I and my 3 friends are living on a rent now. This is the example. Hmm? PG. PG means paying guest. Paying guest. What is the meaning of paying guest? Someone who lives on a rent in the owner's house. Huh? Somebody is living on a rent on the owner's house. Means he can live there also, and he can take accommodation just like food or anything. So that is called paying guest. PG accommodation are easily available these days. Apartment. What is mean by apartment? Apartment means a flat. For example, Sheila and Renu have rented a 2-room apartment in Pune. Landlord, landlady. A man or woman who provides a room for rent, that is called landlord or landlady. For example, our landlady allows us to stay out till 10 p.m. only. This is the example. Tenant. Tenant means what? A person who lives on a rent. That person who lives on a rent on that place, that is called a tenant. For example, Mr. Gupta tenants always pay their rent on a time. Single room flat. A flat with only one room. That is called single room flat. As I am planning to stay alone, I will look for a single room flat. Double room flat. Flat with 2 rooms. As we are planning to stay together, we will look for a double room flat. Commission. A fee that you have to pay to an agent or broker for their service. Means that broker is find out the place, reasonable place to us. So we have to pay the fees for their service. For example, we also have to pay the broker his commission. This is the example. Now next one is security. Security means what? Money given as a guarantee that you will pay rent as a due. Also known as a deposit. That security is also called as a deposit. Means we can give us the deposit or the security amount to the rent owner or placeholder. For example, we have to pay 2,500 rupees as a security. Notice. A formal announcement that you have to make if you want to move out. Ask a tenant to leave. That is called notice. Means if you want to, a placeholder can give a announcement or a formal announcement to the tenant. If he want to leave that person from his place. For example, the landlord has a simple rule: every tenant must be give a month's notice if they want their security back. So this is about the finding a place to stay and the conversation or dialogues between the broker and his client. The client is looking for a room. Below is given the exercise, that is the conversation between the broker and the rent person who is looking for the place. Just like client. I am looking for the client means the person who wants to stay any place. So I am looking for a place to stay. Broker, what the broker is so? Okay, do you want a single room or double room? He is asking the question to that client. Means do you want a single room or double room? So client says that since I am going to stay alone, I would prefer a single room. So this is the conversation, and that conversation we have to complete. So all this conversation you can complete. There is a simple way. Huh? Just like here, I want a single room with attached bathroom plus a separate kitchen locker. You have come right on time. A room which has all this has just been vacant. Client, how much the rent is? Broker says 4,500 rupees. Client, whether this amount is included with electricity bill or water bill. So in this way we can convert all this conversation. Now the next one is future continuous tense. What is future continuous tense? The future tense describe an action that will be ongoing in the future. Means that action will be ongoing in the future. A verb in the future continuous tense will always take the form will plus be plus verb plus ing. In this way we can construct the future continuous tense sentences. Will plus be plus verb plus ing. Just like for example, I will be reporting on the news channel tonight. He will be coming home at around 10. You will be doing your homeworks. So in this way we can write the future continuous tense will plus be plus verb plus ing. We can understand the future continuous tense with the help of following examples. See, we are looking for a new room. This is the present continuous tense. We are looking for the new room. Now we will be looking for a new room. Future continuous tense. We will be. Here are is replaced by will be. Will be, it is the form of future continuous tense. I am looking for a new room. Present continuous tense. Are now I will be looking for a new room. Future continuous tense. Am is replaced by will be. So in this way we can differentiate between these things. Now assessment. Change the following sentence to the future continuous tense. We have to change this following future continuous tense. See, first, Shantanu help me locate a good room. What is the future continuous tense will? Shantanu will be helping me locate a good room. Second, the landlord charge me too much. The landlord will be charging me too much. I was negotiating with him to lower the rent. I will be negotiating with him to lower the rent. In this way you can continue all this assessment or to write all this assessment. The next one is C, saying no. The next session is saying no. What is saying no? See, saying no in this session, see, means sometimes we have to say no, or sometimes we have to say yes. So when we say no and when we say yes, with the following the or by using some respect. So how we can use this? See, let us start now. Sometimes in our lives situation arise where you have to politely decline a person's offer. Sometimes you have to decline, means sometimes you have to reject or oppose a person's offers. So this can be difficult, or especially when you care about the other person. That time also it is very difficult to us to say no. Some people might say yes when they actually mean no. Means some people they want to say no, but they can't do to say no. So that's why they're saying yes. As a result, they feel bitterness and anger towards the person they have said yes to, even though the person has done nothing wrong. People who cannot say no often become annoyed and upset with themselves, and if anyone continues this behavior for a long time, it affects their self-esteem and adds to stress. On the other hand, some people might say no, but in an impolite, disrespectful, and aggressive manner. If you say directly no, this could be show us our impoliteness, disrespectful, and aggressiveness. Huh? So that's why this may result in other disliking them for being angry and rude. Means this shows your angriness or rudeness. So what's the way out? What is the way to perfectly to say no or to say yes? There are some manners. These manners are following. See, the first, a friend invites you to a party, but you have to refuse. A friend wants to borrow a book, but you have to refuse. A friend wants to go shopping with you, but you have to refuse. So, in this way, how you can refuse? Use the polite phrases huh, for refusing. See, I am sorry, but how you can use this phrase? See, I am sorry, but I won't be able to come. Thanks for the offer, but if someone is offering to you, that times how you can refuse politely? See, thanks for the offer, but I won't be able to come. I will have to say no. Huh? How you can use this phrase? I really want to come, but I will have to say no. This is very kind of you. However, this is very kind of you. However, I won't be able to come. So these are the phrases, and you can use these phrases for refusing, and this is very polite manner. Huh? See, the next one is you read aloud the following phrases. You can't work against the law. I can't abide by the law if it is not fair. I am working at the warehouse. You are working for the manager. So these are some phrases also. Now the next one is C. Exercise. How you can solve this exercise? Study the following situation. In saying no, choose what would be the appropriate way of saying no in each situation. Some situation may have more than one appropriate options. Fill in the blanks with the appropriate options. We have to fill just appropriate options in situation. First situation, speaker. Can I borrow some money? Hmm? So, what is the option there? There are three options. Which one is correct? I am sorry, but I won't be able to lend you, or I am sorry, but you can't borrow right now. So, which one is correct? I am sorry, but I won't be able to lend you. In this way, we can say politely. Situation second, I am going to my aunt's house. Would you like to come? Huh? What is the option there? Huh? I am sorry, I won't be able to come. So in this way, we can use the appropriate option. Next one is, there is a party at my place on Friday. You have to come. So how you can say that? There is a party at my place on Friday. You have to come. So which one is come here? Huh? I am sorry, I will not able to come. I will not be able to make it, but thanks for the invitation. So in this way we can use the different options. The next one is what? Assessment. Fill in the blanks using the correct preposition given in the bracket. Yeah, they invited me. Dash dash their party, but I had refused. Which preposition is come here? To. They invited me to their party, but I had refused. They said second. They said they will meet. Dash dash 3 sharp. Which preposition is come here? At. They said they will meet at 3 sharp. At 3 sharp. But I have to meet my grandparents on Monday. So in this way you can use the correct prepositions in the fill in the blanks. Hmm? Next is decreasing a lost item. Describing a lost item. How you can describe the lost item? See, describing a lost Reliant knowledge. Describing a lost item is a simple matter of stating the features of the item that may help in identifying it. Means if our any matter or any object is lost, how we can state, how we can help it help to identifying that object or matter. We just describing that their features. So in this way we can identify our lost item. For example, name of the book, author's name, size of book, description of cover, and publishers of name. If our any book is lost, that time we can use these features to identify our book. There are some other words that are used to express the quantity of things that can be counted. Some words that are used to express the quantity of things that cannot be counted. Study the following table. This table summarizes that some words are countable and some are non-countable. That are called countable nouns, and uncountable nouns are for both. See, many is a countable nouns, much is the uncountable nouns, and some for both countable and non-countable. A few, it is a countable. A little, it is a uncountable. Any, it is for both. Several is a countable. A bit of uncountable. All of the or most of the are both. A couple of is countable. A good or great deal of uncountable. A lot of or lots of is for both. None of the means countable, and plenty of for both. So in this way, this is the summarized chart for the countable nouns and uncountable nouns, how they can be used. For example, some examples are, see, their family has a lot of influence over the local government. I bought a lot of children's books for my son. Some people don't agree with the bill. There was much disagreement over the new bill. Hmm? Now the exercise. Here the exercise, how we can solve. See, now read the details given below and fill in the blanks using the information given. Now one of your mobile is lost, and how you can give the information, just like a mobile phone, a Nokia, what kind of which company of that mobile is, just like Nokia 0010. The next one, what is the color of mobile, lost while traveling in train, means where it was lost, on which day, which time. So train from which place, if while traveling. So these are the certain options, that options you have to utilize in the conversation with the complaining with the policeman. See, yes, may I help you? I lost my mobile. Then policeman ask, where? Complain, I was traveling from which place, train from Allahabad to Delhi. So in this way, this conversation you have to complete. Huh? The next one is assessment. Choose the correct quantifier from the given choices and fill in the blanks. Hmm? See, I lost dash dash books when I stayed at the hostel. Huh? Several, it is the countable, and much it is the uncountable. Means which one is used here? Several. I lost several books when I stayed at the hostel. In this way we can use the correct quantifier from the given choice. Hima asked dash dash students if they had seen her new leather wallet. Hmm? Hima asked some students, some it is the countable and a little it is the uncountable. So Hima asked some students if they had seen her new leather wallet. The warden confirms that huh, any thefts had occurred in the hostel, so she had every room checked. So in this way we can choose the correct quantifier from the given choices. The next one is fill in the blanks with the correct quantifier from the options given below. Here are some options given to us. That options we have to use the correct quantifier. See, first, I was having a dash dash fun with my family at the airport until I realized that two of my bags were missing. I was having a lot of fun with my family at airport until I realized that two of my bags were missing. Means option C, a lot of fun. I was having a lot of fun. This C option is correct here. So in this way we can use the correct quantifier. The black bag contained dash dash valuable things that I had bought for my sister's wedding. The correct option is A, means many. The black bag contained many valuable things that I had bought for my sister's wedding. In this way, we can choose the correct quantifier from the given options and to fill in the blanks. Huh? So you can solve all this exercise or assessment that I had already shared with you. Huh? Thank you, student. Now the next session we will come on the next time session 13 to onwards. We see on the next time. Thank you.